wonderful analyst desk mentioned, both of these teams are locked into their current spots. Saigon Buffalo second in the standings. They'll be advancing to the semi-finals in the Gauntlet. Burst the Sky second last. That is seventh, and they will be heading into the relegation battle at the end of the split. And as a result, we're seeing a couple of new players coming in, one being P, playing on that Lucian, and the game that we saw from P, or the series that we saw before from P, was when Saigon Buffalo were playing against Team Flash, and he played the Silas, he played the Akali skill expressive champion, so I'm glad that he's on a similar style of champion.
Do you remember if that was the series they actually lost against Team Flash at the beginning of the
No,
split?
2-0.
It was a different one, so he actually won.
Yeah.
So he is a 100% win rate player so far in the VCS. Maybe that will change today. Let's wait and see. Other than that, of course, SGB is still favored against Burst the Sky, but I'm also looking forward to see what Rio can do in the Jax counter matchup against the Gwen. Both going to P Ignite, both going pedal to the metal, basically. And Rio, usually in carry versus carry matchups, as harsh as it sounds, tends to lose those matchups. And now he's getting a lot of trust by his team. And of course, I mean, Ya has to perform. I mean, Rebel keeps hyping him up. And if he doesn't get like a level 2 pentakill or something, I will be very disappointed.
I've actually almost had a level 3 pentakill once, and I was playing Tristan. It was on an ARAM, and you just jump in and you get resets and you keep on jumping. It was one of the most fun things that I've ever done. Sadly, it was only a quadra kill, and I highly doubt that Ya will be picking up any multi-kill at level 2, especially against this Aphelios Renata that has the priority in lane currently.
Definitely so, and I just gotta add to that arms sadly don't count. So even if you would have gotten the pentakill, it wouldn't be enough to impress me. Coming from someone who had never got a pentakill arm anyway. Either way than that, we are definitely going aggressive in the early laning phase here and just stacking up a huge wave in towards the side of Hasmet. And also with the way Drakthar is pathing, maybe they're looking for an early dive. I wonder if they manage to pull it off. Gwen, of course, being flashless, might be their primary target here.
And this top lane is quite an interesting matchup between Saigon Buffalo and Burst the Sky, because you're looking at Hasmed, one of the best top laners in the VCS outside of Kiaya, and then you're looking at Ryuk, who's probably having the worst split of any top laner in the VCS.
Definitely so. I mean, who's really better than Hasmet is really what we have to ask. I mean, in the beginning of the split, we had Hero, of course, popping off. We had Kiaya, of course, still having the greatest split. Maybe overall still the best top laner we had in the VCS. But Hasmet makes good argument for himself, especially with having such a deep champion pool. He's the one who is ready to play the Jace, to play the Akali, to play the Vayne in the top lane. And that's definitely one strong asset he has. And the Gwen now, of course, another carry champion that can be next added to his champion pool. I think he has also played some Gwen games already, but he's like the one player that is really easy to draft around. And we always love to highlight the drafts from SGB, and they tend to be quite versatile, especially with Taki and Hasmet being in the respective lanes.
But so far, no real aggression. Drakthar now looking up towards the top lane. Hasmet having pushed out his wave a bit, and it's going to allow Drakthar to come in. The counter-strike will land, locking down Hasmet in place, and it's first blood going the way of Burst the Sky. Meanwhile, though, we've got dives in the bottom lane. Taki taken down low. Ya will fall. He dies before he gets a kill or an assist. Shogun won't be able to stay alive as Glory picks one up. And it is 2 for 1 in the bottom lane as we then look towards mid lane. I don't know what the observers are doing. We've got a fight, people! It's a triple kill for Glory on the Ari. Okay, things have been happening, Crincy.
Yeah, great play coming from Glory, of course, with the response TP towards the turret. Of course, with Unleash TPs being out, that's kind of hard to do, but he still managed to do so. And maybe a bit overfought with SGB, getting the crossback going. P now with his return shutdown kill towards Glory, but also Drakthar will finish him off again. Overall, I think Sky is quite happy with that. I mean, their top lane play worked out, SGB's bot lane play kind of didn't, and the aftermath is also going like both ways, so to say. So Sky definitely happy with that one. Being 500 gold up at the 5-minute mark, of course not the end of the world, but definitely a good start for them, and something we maybe didn't expect from them.
A very good start. Great aggression. Well, great defensive play from Burst Sky here.
Here we see again BJ going pretty deep on the dive. Maybe they wanted to abuse the bailout ability from the side of the Renata, but didn't quite manage to get any value out of it, because you first have to die, then you need to get the takedown, and then you get the revive going on. So you basically have another extra life, and that's what really didn't work here. Glory with a great follow-up TP, and BJ just had no way out. Despite being on the mobile Vego pick, he wasn't quite as effective as the Ari was. And Ari, of course, thrives in this close corridor skirmishes where you can easily land the Orb of Deception, and it also in the later half results in them getting the first mountain break of the game, or the first break of the game overall.
Now, this gives us an opportunity to talk about the most fed player in the game. which is Glory on this Ari, because Glory has been so good for Burst the Sky this split, and yes, he hasn't been able to convert it into wins, but he has been so solid in laning phase. He's on this Ari, he's got a triple kill. This is exactly the state of the game you want to be in if you're Burst the Sky. Now BJ looks towards the top lane, P following up, even if Ryuk can outplay this, surely he's going to die. He's looking for the kill, he gets it on to BJ, but he will fall at the end of 1-for-1, but Ryuk is more than happy with that outcome.
Definitely more than happy. That hashtag whatever what you say in all chat after that. In the 1v3, he gets a 1 kill against BJ back. BJ maybe being a little bit too close to the counter-strike of side of Ryuk, and Ryuk already doing surprisingly big amount of damage with this offensive item build rush he's going for. He goes for Blade of the Wound King first to really have a nice one-item power spike, not watching the Mythic, but just going for the Legendary instead because it's just that good on this patch and really synergizes well with what Jax brings to the table. And I think SGB could have played this a little bit cleaner. Speaking of playing cleanly, Draxler just cleanly picks up another kill onto P.
Oh, he cleans P up off the map. That was really nice. For a second, I thought he had messed up that kick when it didn't kick him into the wall, and then the Sonic Wave came through. And 3-0 now on this Lee Sin.
Definitely, and he's one of those players that can actually land the Sonic Wave after kicking the enemy champion, which is something that should be guaranteed, but apparently not for some of the players we have seen so far in the VCS spring split, so to say. And I think it was actually intentional to kick him away from the turret, so he would not have any danger to get killed by the turret in the aftermath of that. So definitely played cleanly for the side of Draktar, and he's also having a good game so far. Mid-jungle duo definitely working wonders for Burst the Sky. And with this game maybe not mattering too much, I think SGB could maybe be in a position where they are not really caring that much about it and actually give this game up to the side of Burst the Sky.
And this is actually a good point to bring up a tendency of Saigon Buffalo, which is the fact that out of every team in the VCS, Saigon Buffalo have had more individual games than anyone else, or they will at the end of this series. Ryuk now being caught out as a culling comes through, will just be able to ward hop, and actually burns 2 ultimates out of Saigon Buffalo, though. The needle work from Hasmid and the culling from P.
That, but he also used his own ultimate, to be fair, like the Grandmaster's Might was used, so he actually has enough resistances to survive it. I think it would have maybe been fine otherwise anyway. P just gets
says yeah! That was nice.
Yeah, his first kill in the VCS split, and definitely played fine so far, I would say, because I mean he got dove one time, died to that. It's something that just happened as a Jinx. I mean, with time Kenji not really being level 6 yet. At that point, there was no way to really save him, and just know he gets the first snipe kill with the Jinx rocket. Is struggling quite a bit in the CS department, but it's also partly at fault due to the gang attendance that came out from the side of BJ. And now, looking at BJ, I mean, not looking at BJ, he just killed Glory off screen.
Yeah, so we were talking about Glory, how good Glory has been, and then BJ is able to find a kill. I don't know if Glory had any of his summoners up or how low Glory was in the health department. Going back to, and that kill that he was able to get, I'm a firm believer that if you're able to land those Jinx snipes, it's a sign of good things to come.
Definitely is. I mean, it literally gets you excited. Speaking of that, Hasmet now getting focused on by the dive, and yeah, next kill for them. Yeah, took a lot of turret damage there. That was kind of not needed, but still fine to get another takedown. And here we see what happened again with BJ just going on towards Glory. Glory, no ultimate available, no flash available. Easily dies to a flash engage from Viego.
This game is bloody as hell. This is a VCS game and a half. It is really fun so far, but it is Burst the Sky who surprisingly have that 3.5k goal lead. And what I was saying before is that it's Saigon Buffalo who have had more games of any other team in the VCS, and it's mainly because they have been the top team that has been most likely to drop games against some of the weaker sides in the VCS.
Of course, we might have been underselling a little bit. Burst the Sky is getting pretty one-sided leads in this game so far, getting top lane completely broken open. Ryuk being more than 2 minion waves ahead against the Gwen in this matchup, also getting the kill in the 1v3, and them using the Rift Herald to just immediately take on this tier 1 turret, getting all of the plating money still for them. And even like the struggling part of the map, which would of course be is getting like at least some kill participations within this game, is also not that far down in the CS department, I would say. I mean, it's kind of comparable to what happened at the top lane earlier. And Glory, with getting so many kills up in this bot lane skirmish, is also more than happy with getting his 3 kills on his side. And with this Ari build-up, I just see the Lost Chapter, I see the penetration boots. Maybe it's actually going full damage.
Oh, well, the hostile takeover actually almost helps out Elio momentarily, as it allows him to run quickly towards but in the end, it's 3 on top of 1, and it is Saigon Buffalo who end up picking up the kill.
Rightfully so, and Elio being a bit out of position there. Also burns his flash despite just dying there. No way really to get out of this. And
Oh, the
Glory
charm
going for the
misses,
dive.
but the damage comes through! Oh, P gets the kill. Glory with the misplay. And Dragthar wants this, but Hasmed is here. The Super Mega Death Rocket won't land. And Dragthar now has nowhere to go. He's forced to flash over the wall. The Heartbreaker comes through.
tries to get two.
Dragthar still in a sticky situation. Sonic Wave tanked up by Hasmed. And Dragthar will be able to jump out to safety with the safeguard.
And it seems like Sky is a little bit surprised that they got such a huge lead against SGB because they really don't know how to play around it and just play like very cocky overdive. We saw Glory just now going for the solo kill towards P under the turret, but he doesn't even wait for the minion wave. Of course, with Darkseid helping, he was maybe confident to just land the charm instantly, but he waits a little bit for the charm. P manages to sidestep it or just use the relentless pursuit to get out of that, and without the minion wave, you just easily take so many turret shots there. And Glory, despite flashing, just dies. Of course, very dirtily played by him and rightfully dies there. Dragthar also was kind of lucky that he still got such much mobility left on towards the Lee Sin pick. Otherwise, he would have died as well. Ya tried to snipe one kill away with the Death Rocket again. This time he failed though, and Burst the Sky is playing a little bit sloppily.
This game feels like a game of opposites. Ryuk winning against Hasmed in the top lane, something I was not expecting whatsoever. BJ not having, you know, a great game. We've been seeing him playing so well this spring split so far. And then Glory losing in the mid lane against a rookie. Yes, okay, he's got 3 kills, but I still think I count this as losing mid lane.
I mean, you could, of course, count it. I mean, he got a huge lead, and then he, at this point at least, fails to convert the lead to more than that. And I really wonder if Sky is able to really translate this into anything, because if a 3.5k gold lead that early in the game should usually net you the win. SGB, of course, as a team overall is favored, but they aren't playing froggy. They are not really going with the most risk-averse draft, I would say, with blind picking the Gwen with Jax being open. And I wonder if Sky is able to translate this to a game win here, because SGB, of course, is still favored. And SGB showing more resilience, especially in the later stage of the game, would be something that they can really keep track of. And we have seen, laning-wise, I mean, the lanes are going fine for them, right? Shogun is still ahead in CS against Ya. P just now, despite being the rookie, is resilient enough to not die to this one gank that came out earlier where Glory was fail diving him. And even Hasbit in the counter is fine CS-wise, just down a bit more than 1 wave right now. So it looks like SGB is still scaling finally, despite that rough early game.
9 kills to 6, a 2k goal lead for the side of Burst Sky. They've been able to pick up 2 Drakes as well, and that third Drake will be spawning in 3.5 minutes of time. But maybe one of the things that Burst Sky has been lacking on so far this season is some of that team fighting. In Saigon Buffalo, this is where they can show their experience coming back, as that was a devour onto BJ and a kill going the way of Dragthar, who's been playing magnificently so far this game.
He has, and Binjam much less. So I wonder how he can really die there with Flash and Heartbreaker being available to him. Maybe he wasn't really respecting what really Ellie can do on the offensive. Devour coming out from the Tam Kench and just now died again there. Also, another win con coming out from Mr. Sky would be the Drake Soul win condition. They already are on 2 Drakes. It is an Infernal Soul, so a very powerful soul at that one. And in 3 minutes, the Infernal Drake would spawn. And I wonder if Saigon Buffalo is really in a position to fight those, because they will likely still be down at least like 2k gold at that point of the game. And with the way the skirmishes are going right now, it is definitely favoring Buster Sky.
One of the questions is, can Glory start picking up his form? Can he actually start getting kills? Because we've seen him going for these tower dives, albeit Dragthar trying to initiate them, and initiating them rather well, but Glory unable to follow up on it effectively. Ryuk also right now with that Blade of the Ruined King is starting to become that Jax monster, as I'm guessing this is how BJ just died.
This is how he dies. We will see how it works out. He just goes for the Herald path, and he just gets gobbled up. He just gets auto-attacked away, and he had time to react. I mean, the observer interface is showing us that his flash was actually down. It wasn't up as it was shown beforehand, so he would have needed to Heartbreaker out of it, and maybe he just didn't want to use his ultimate defensively, which would of course be a bummer for him. Other than that, I think he should have just used it, because better safe than sorry. Just don't give up another kill, because now Dragthar is 4-0 on the Lee Sin and definitely out-edging you in this first 15 minutes of the game, so to say. Now I want to see SGB showing that they can still play evenly in this mid game despite being a bit down, and just scale next to the enemy team and maybe just hope for getting some pick before the next Drake fight or something, because otherwise I don't see any way for them to really get big into this game. They just need to rely on Mr. Sky to make some mistakes, and we have seen over the course of the whole split they tend to do plenty of those, so there will definitely be an opening for them at some point. But Hazmat right now, without a flash on the Gwen, which is of course usual, you're still bound to die to those skirmishes.
It's the kick, and there's just so much damage that comes
Yeah.
through from Sky. You know, you tried. He dropped down the rock. He thought maybe I can snipe away a kill, but sadly not this time for the Jinx.
It's like, yeah, at least wants to funnel the kills all into him, but the rest of his team doesn't agree that much with them just bursting on the targets beforehand. To just be sure on that one. We've told on the top lane, and Saigon Buffalo's falling apart in this department. They're also losing this mid lane skirmish right now.
Yeah, it was a great flash from you away and out of the Heartbreaker. Oh, the Zapper lands, and it's 2 kills for Sky. Looking for the outplay. Piercing Light P will be able to pull one back. But overall, it is 3 for 1, and Sky extending their lead, jumping out of the hostile takeover. But Dragthar ends up getting clipped by it. He could look to go back in. He's a very fed Lee Sin, but he will just take the blast cone out to safety. Back in, Dragthar goes. And somehow the safeguard just about keeps him alive. The bailout will sadly not keep Taki alive. And Sky are running away with this game.
Definitely so. I mean, the top lane tier 2 turret was taken down by the Rift Herald. They dropped it to just go for this fight in the mid lane, which they also lost, by the way. And they weren't really using the Renata ultimate effectively. I mean, Taki was just using it in the 1v1 against Draktar, who basically just walked quickly towards the wall or something, and it wasn't really anything to take. And of course, Draktar being that fat can just one-tap basically Taki, because he's almost an assassin at this point of the game, where he's just that fat on the Lee Sin. Third pick now also going over to the side of versus Sky, and they are already on soul point in the 18th minute of the game against Saigon Buffalo nonetheless. Definitely looking strong in this game. And with Taki not really being in these fights, there's like no hope for Saigon Buffalo to really take these fights. So I really wonder why they're going for this. I think BJ is kind of having a happy game this time.
Now, I'm going to bring this up. And okay, yes, I know this isn't a valid analysis point, but I want to bring it up nonetheless. And that is when we look towards the gauntlet. Do you think Team Secret will be feeling a bit confident now?
I think not so much. We really shouldn't overreact over such a happy game. I mean, the implications of this game are basically zero. It's not Froggy playing. Froggy, with arguably being the best mid in the split, and they just choose not to play. That's what I would assume. You really shouldn't overreact on this one. Here we see again what Draktar did with Taki. Also, maybe like we should credit Draktar more in the positive way, because him fighting Taki was what was preventing Taki from really joining this fight that was happening in the mid lane, and one of the reasons why versus Sky is basically winning on all sides of the map so far.
I'll be honest. Dragthar has been playing really, really well this game, as we've got a fight happening in the mid lane. Dragthar is able to pick up 1 kill. The Death Rocket comes through, landing onto Taki. BJ on the run, but the autos will follow. Yeah, picks up the kill. And Saigon Buffalo crumble. It's only Glory who falls, and it's a 4 for 1.
And look at where they are fighting. This is Saigon Buffalo. They were already down like 7k gold before this fight started, and they fight in the enemy jungle for whatever reason. I don't know what's really within their minds right now. I think this game is basically already written off within their minds. They are thinking about game 2, and maybe I think like, maybe Foggy should actually play game 2. I'm not quite sure. This could maybe be something they can think about. But as I say that, that's kind of unfair to P, because P over the whole game is not playing. It's not the problem. He's not playing too badly. He's playing mostly fine. It's just the decision making for the SGB. It's a draft to SGB, and also to credit Dragthar just playing really well, and we also showing off on this Jack so far.
And this was a lot of aggression from Saigon Buffalo after they got the initial kill, and then versus Guy just said, "No, we're ahead of you. We beat you with our wallets."
Yeah, definitely beating them with their wallets. Fair's not even getting to cast the Moonlight Vigil at all this fight. Also, like BJ dying without using Heartbreaker. I mean, you basically need to use your ability to win fights from behind, especially now. Renata also already getting caught out, so Taki not getting to live this time. And Baron is up on the table in a few seconds. Maybe with the Sky with that much of a gold lead could go for an early Baron, or at least like bait the Baron, just start it off, turn for the fight and just win that fight, and maybe from that win the game or get an inhibitor. Meanwhile, off screen, we have just solo killed Hazmat again, because that apparently happens today. And yeah, with another snipe. I mean, why not?
I mean, he's been a bit of a sniper this game, and to go back to your Baron point, Quincy, as well, you're talking about a very strong Jinx, a very strong Jax versus Sky. Take this Baron very, very quickly.
They definitely could do. I wonder if they can really tank it very well, because Jax with this item build is pretty squishy, and also not that good in the direct team fight, because every AoE ability could blow him up if his counter strike would be down and his Grandmaster's Might isn't casted. But if they are that ahead, they can maybe just rush down the Baron or just take it with this Lee Sin, who's already on God Ring Death Dance and doesn't really take that much damage anyway. And Jinx also one of the better Baron takers. So I think going for Baron bait is definitely an option for them. On the other note, though, they can just go for the Infernal Zone, just play it safe within the next 2 minutes. And I don't think SGB can say anything against that. They will maybe try, but they are down 11k gold already. And this seems to be a quick one and not the way we expected it to be.
Trincy, where's Coach Tim?
Probably somewhere in Germany, why?
Because remember we said that Ryuk can only play well when Coach Tim is around. So I'm very confused because Ryuk's playing well, and I don't know where Coach Tim is. I know where Bean J is right now. He's being engaged on by Glory, and Glory should be able to pick this one up relatively easy, but the Heartbreaker flashing forward.
Red
And
buff?
Glory surviving! Red buff is down!
It's actually not red buff, by the way. It's probably the smite. He didn't have a red buff.
Okay.
Either way, the skirmish keeps going.
Well, P maybe falling Dragthar now in a 1v4. You're going to need some massive techers to get out of that, and he won't be able to as Shogun picks up the shutdown.
And this makes me very angry because the mid-jungle duo has played a stellar game so far outside of the Sky, mostly. Glory with this one overdive together with Dragthar. Now yet again, they just go for disrespectful plays and just both die for no reason at all. Infernal Vegas coming up in a few seconds. It would have been their soul, but with Dragthar being down, they maybe actually have to give it up. I think with their lead, it actually might not matter that much because Glory will respawn in. He could just quickly return to the play, and SGB might just still lose fights in the 3v5 because Ryuk is just that strong. But I think that this is something where Business kind of has to take some risks. I mean, they still want to fight it.
They want to delay this. They want Dragthar to be able to get here, maybe contest this Drake, but no, they just got to give it away. Does Ryuk want to go in? Go on, Rick. You know you want to make the hero plays. He gets handshaked. Still gonna chase. Elio on the hunt as well. Ryuk now going in. The counter-strike will buy some more time for the rest of us. Sky 2 turn up. The Devour keeps Ryuk alive, and one has already fallen from Saigon Buffalo. Bean J alive, but is low. The engage onto Shogun. Double kill for Glory.
Double kill for Glory, clutch Devour coming up by Elio, and Rally keeps saying it. We already saw like in this teamfight, despite Ryuk being so fat, he's on all offensive items. His teamfighting isn't actually that impressive, aside from that one Counter-Strike lead play he could do, which is like a mini Malphite also to say. Other than that, they basically just hit to save him out. And this alone could mean the Baron, because you're on 5v3 right now, and with the bot lane being down for the side of Saigon Buffalo, them being that much gold down, they shouldn't be in a position to contest it. But I'm still angry about them docking the Infernal Soul. This definitely shouldn't have happened. And speaking of this Ryuk point you brought earlier, maybe Coach Tim is indeed within my walls, and he's actually there right now as I'm casting this game, because Ryuk is having a fantastic game.
I thought we made a joke as well about shipping him over to Vietnam, so maybe we've already done that. It has been a few days since he was last on the cast, so the time does add up as Saigon Buffalo, they drop down the hostile takeover, but it only lands on Duelio. In goes Draxler, he looks for the kick on Tataki, but won't be able to get it. Now P dashing away, trying to get out to safety, but the Sonic Wave lands. 2-4, Sky get 2, and they're just looking to wipe Saigon Buffalo off at the face of the map. But 4 kills, they're looking for Shogun. Blaskin will be able to take Shogun out to safety, but it is only Shogun who survives, and Burst Sky with a Baron buff push in the mid lane.
This should be the game. I mean, they just completely destroyed them with their wallets, basically. Baron was already gone. SGB still tried to go for the fight. They are so much down. And Glory landing a good charm. Draxler fighting the kick on towards P, who died very, very quickly in this fight. This should be a very huge push for them. Maybe not the game, because they're already backing off. And they actually do not drop the inhibitor, to not even give the opportunity towards Saigon Buffalo to even get free experience and gold out of it. So they are still resilient and just still play for the soul within the next few minutes, assuming they don't do an in-play like they did the last time.
The 15k goal lead at 24 minutes, Quincy. Have you ever seen a gold lead that big?
I probably did, but I don't remember the game right now. Either way, here we see hostile takeover coming in. Dragthar going pretty deep, and he just now, we found the kick onto P, just now landed on Sonic Wave, and just all the damage coming on for the side of versus Sky. Also the charm landing on, I think it was Bean J, or in this case it actually was Hasmet, and Gwen also not really good team fighter.
Who died.
Yeah, it was someone, yeah. Doesn't really matter who he kills, just someone to get a reset off. Who are these randoms anyways? But what guys probably thinking in this moment anyway. So with both reset champions, Ari and Jinx being online, Bean J of course not really in a position to get some of his own. But Sky can easily clean up those teamfights cleanly and get another turret on the backhand of it. And now 11k gold lead it is for them. And this wave is a bit thin, will probably not get much out of it. they just should play for the soul, I think. Or maybe even get another siege play here because they are just that far ahead. Maybe even something where they can go for a dive play, assuming that Draxar lands a good kick or if Glory lands a good charm.
Surely the next fight will be the
Okay,
last party! He just gets blown up. There's nothing he can do. That is just damage from a Jinx. The kick into the Mega Death Rocket. BJ will get followed up by the Resonating Strike. Ryuk lands the stun onto Hasmed. Still on the run. Sonic Wave lands. Surely Drakthar won't follow up. And indeed, Drakthar won't. But Sky will take some damage to their health bars, but they still get a kill and they are still able to push in the bottom lane.
And I gotta apologize because I was underestimating the ability of Yard to right click Taki to death there when pretty quickly, and Taki didn't even go for the flash. Slash actually not available. Could have went for the hostile takeover maybe, but he was not really able to react within the split second that he just died. Second inhibitor now gone, and of course, versus Sky will likely just go for the Infernal Soul within the next minute, and it's just insane how fat they really are this game. And I wonder where this AD carry has been the whole time, because I mean, has a very solid performance overall. The laning phase was not easy to play, especially with getting Dove so early, but he definitely stayed tilt-proof and also just mechanically plays an overall fine game. Didn't let every ultimate, but can you really fault him for that? It's just a global ability. You just throw out there, and maybe if you're lucky, you get another kill. Other than that, very good game for him.
Can we question itemization? Because I'm not any expert on Jinx spells, but I've not actually seen a Storm Razor pick up in quite a while in the ADC role.
I haven't either. I'm not sure if it's in general good, but this time it actually helped him because it applied the slow towards Taki and it made him, it gave him a bit more power to stick to the target, and with just 3 rockets killing the whole Renata, you kind of like that. He's on 80% crit right now. The other option would maybe like go towards an armor pen, but there isn't really any armor to shred if the enemy doesn't get to build any items because they're just so far down in gold. Also, BJ with a few gold, yes, he went for Sterak second, which I also do not like to see, but I think that is it's kind of ridiculous to discuss item build choices when you're so far down anyway. The gameplay is what really is faulting here.
We don't comment about the Glory Flash Charm that landed onto a minion. Mega Death Rocket won't land onto anyone, but the damage dropping down onto the Nexus Tower is the final play. Draxar lands the kick, but Draxar's not going to be able to get any follow-up. The tower will fall. Hasmed goes golden, comes out of stasis. Surely will Forno is able to stay alive. Shogun has so many chakrams that are dropping down, but he's just so weak right now. He doesn't have the damage the members of Sky are low. Dropping down some extra damage onto Elio. And Sky continue their retreat. Saigon Buffalo hold onto their base, but they want more. They want to go in for the play. P is incredibly low. Will he actually be able to get into this fight to drop down any more damage? Draxar goes in, and Draxar will clean up the fight.
Draxar will clear the fight. It's just so far on the Lee Sin. And Binche wasn't even in this fight for most part because he was actually soloing down the Infernal Wave to prevent the Soul get the objective party. And they still almost lost that fight. Very crazy to see from the side of versus Sky, with Glory missing this flash charm initially. But it wasn't enough for the side of SGB. I think they played this last fight actually out pretty decent.